Yeah, good morning. And it's a new session with a new chapter. And earlier, the chapter name PD was going on. That is yet to complete, and 1 or 2 lectures are required to take there also. I've been decided in this session to begin with the 3D geometry, basically. But before beginning the content, I'll say something about the exam, exactly what to do, what not to do, and a lot of people, they used to get confused before they are going to start their preparation exactly. And even they don't know how to start, what exactly to start. That's what a lot of issue with a lot of people, right? So I'll say about that something. Thereafter I can say something about the 3D geometry. And I just told just now, before this, PD partial differential equation chapter was going on. That's that to finish. 1 or 2 lectures left. And otherwise, after that, this 3D is to be begun. So that's not an issue. 3D, I think a lot of people studied up to the 12th. 2-dimensional geometry, even in 12th also we have 3D content also. We used to study there. But in the graduation, the people who do B.Sc courses, for them the 3D chapter there, I believe. But for the B.Tech people, I'm not sure they studied the 3D geometry in their graduation. I'm not sure. Yeah. And the online guys, if you have any query, you can put your message in the message box. I'll definitely answer to you. Since it's open session, whatever you have a doubt, you can ask and clear your doubts. That's good. See, a lot of people used to have a dilemma what to choose, what kind of optional to be chosen by us. Yeah, optional subject role is very high in the preparation. So based upon the optional only, what is my beliefness? Your rank will be decided based upon the optional marks. But optional marks, it means that if you are choosing the optional mathematics, you are choosing it for only marks, but not for the any learning, but not have any intersection with the general studies syllabus. It's altogether independent syllabus, and you have to choose it for only the marks, not for the knowledge. That's the case. There are Hyderabad guys, Mukherjee guys as well. Yeah. So that's the thing. But see, you've done this mathematics in your graduation, and before that you studied in 11th, 12th also. If you have done your post-graduation, so it means that 11th, 12th, 2 years, graduation minimum 3 years, maximum 4 years if you have B.Tech or else honors degree. And it's a totally 6 years. If you are a post-graduation person, it's a 2 years more, means that 8 years. And the worst case, 7 to 8 years you studied mathematics. 7 to 8 years you studied mathematics. See, a lot of basics you might studied, a lot of contents you have studied in the mathematics in all these years, and they are automatically remembered you also. That's what you don't know. When you see some question, when you see some statement, when you see some theorem, you'll get recollect. You'll get recollect. Okay, I've studied in my graduation. Okay, I've studied in my 12th class somewhere else. Like that, you can easily get recollect. That's the thing. Second point, after studying these many years of this subject, and all of suddenly, for the preparation of the UPSC, you are switching to the new optional subject. You are switching to the new optional subject. It is not advisable at all. Because, it got into waste. These many years of the studying mathematics, suddenly switching to the new optional, not going to be help any candidate. My strong suggestion to any aspirant, what they have studied in their graduation, they have to choose that particular, optional subject from their background, right? Why? What's the benefit by choosing the optional from their background? Suppose I take an example of the mathematics only. I take an example of the mathematics. You have studied, I am claiming that these many years you have studied mathematics. Okay. See, every day in the class you understand, or else every day in the preparation, the syllabus of mathematics, what you prepare for the UPSC, every day you can see, okay, I've studied somewhere in the 12th, I've studied somewhere in the graduation. So contents are not at all new for you. This is one thing. And when you are, planning to choose the coaching class, obviously, whether my teacher is teaching the content to the point of exam or not, from day one onwards, you can easily check. So you can easily check and balance your preparation, right? And even teacher has been left any contents. So you have a confidence that, okay, I've studied, I can cover. So this is what is been left by teacher. And this is what been left by me, I have to cover. This is what I don't know. I have to study from the teacher thoroughly, seriously, right? So you can easily check and balance in your preparation in every day-to-day preparation. This is one thing. But you have chosen suddenly the new optional subject after leaving all the background information and all. Without any degree, you have to gain the knowledge in the degree level. That means that from the scratch, you have to start this reading. Let us assume that humanities, whatever the humanity. What a lot of people, they think that, okay, if I choose the humanities option, that is going to be intersection with what? The general studies syllabus. Okay. So I can get the benefit. That's not the correct. Maybe headings are the same, but contents, idea, presentation is altogether is different. I can also claim, if you choose the mathematics, you can qualify the CSAT. This is what a stupidity of anyone who says like this. Because though in the CSAT also we have a lot of mathematics things. A lot of people failed because of the math things only, right? Last year, I think only 80,000 plus people last year in the PT. Only 80,000 people, 80,000 people qualified, 8,000 plus qualified the what? CSAT. Rest all 6 lakhs plus people not qualified the CSAT. It means that their general studies paper is not corrected, not valued, since they failed in the not one of the paper, qualifying paper, right? But why they failed in CSAT? Only because of the mathematics. They've been asked a lot of questions from this content, permutations and combinations, lot, and basic numeracy. Basic numeracy questions, they used to be done by hit and trial. A lot of people, if they have not practiced, how they can hit and trial on the question to answer? That's a problem. So, but see, if I say, if you are a maths optional person, you can gain the benefit in CSAT. I can't say, because that maths and this maths is obviously altogether different. The same is true that if someone says, if you have chosen the humanities optional, directly can get the benefit. But how many guys who chose the humanities optional and cleared the exam? That's what the matter. Like this kind of, suggestion is not advisable. My suggestion is that, whatever you have studied in the graduation, if you have been studied in the graduation commerce, if you are good in commerce, you choose the commerce. You have studied life sciences. If you are good in botany zoology, you can choose the botany zoology, right? Like you have studied B.Tech and B.Sc courses with the mathematics. If you are really interested in the mathematics, you can choose. So you never defeat by anyone. You never defeat by any exam. You understand, what crux in this subject. This is one thing. Otherwise, altogether leaving and switching to the new subject, and what teacher is saying in the class. His teacher is teaching by only sayings, quotations. He can mesmerize, by saying simple quotations, or else by repeating the vocabulary again and again. You know, one sentence in humanities can be said in many ways. That kind of, minus is going to be occur. That's what we don't identify also. But in a humanities courses, in which point of time in the classes, at any point of the time in the class, if you are going to sit, you can understand everything. But the point is not the understanding. Even if I'll sit also, I can understand. But point is that presentation is more important. For that, you need to practice a lot for the answer writing. But my suggestion is that why to switch to the new and why to struggle from the basic onwards? Why don't you switch to your own optional subject or own subject where you don't require to face any basics problem? You don't require to learn any basics. Online guys, you don't require to learn any basics. Right? क्या पूछ रहे किसने? Krish, Saini? Most of the syllabus similar to B.Sc. Yes, it's correct. It's actually in the mathematics, it's a lot of content relevant to the 12 and some contents to the what? 11th and 12th, right? B.Sc courses. I can't say B.Tech, right? But otherwise, lot of people get success in this exam with the mathematics option from the B.Tech background only. But why? I always believe the candidates who have taken the coaching class preparation for the what? IIT JEE. For really, JEE. This preparation is enough to understand your IAS mathematics in truth. You have studied B.Sc, MSc and all, that's all good. And done the B.Tech, that's all good. But you've really done this kind of, So what I'm trying to convey, this mathematics is not a high level mathematics. It's not above than the graduation. It's below the graduation, but above the what? The 11th and 12th, that's it. Most of the contents are relevant to the 11th and 12th. How can I claim it's relevant to the 11th and 12th? For example, if you see the calculus, in the calculus, a lot of things related to what? Limit, continuity, differentiability. The same contents of 11th and 12th. And integrations also. They are relevant to the what? 11th and 12th, obviously. There is a 𝐊𝐿 rule, you might be studied. Absolutely, that from the, 11th and 12th. That's the case. So, a lot of dynamics, there is a topic called dynamics. It's obviously 11th and 12th, right? And if you ask matrices, absolutely relevant to the 11th and 12th. And 3D geometry, what I told, 100% just extends from the 11th and 12th. I can show you that comparison, right? And see, like this way, you have even ODE. There is a chapter name called ODE. You might be studied in the 11th, 12th, along with the differentiability in the 11th and 12th, integration. Along with integration, you might be studied in the 11th, 12th, not 11th. Solution of the first order and first degree equations. In that you have the what? Variables and separable. And what? Homogeneous. And the what? This, exact. And the what? Linear, ODE of first order, that's it. Linear ODE of first order. These contents are available in the 12th. But same contents you have to study. From exact, 100% there is a question in the IAS exam. It is truth. And this way, you can always remember, always the backgrounds helps us. For example, one more situation I can tell you here. Out of all the paper of the exam, out of all the paper of the maths exam, for example, I'm talking about the maths exam, okay? Around 3 or 4 questions of the bit, at least 30 marks or 40 marks, under worst case. Like in the paper they'll ask, find the rank of the matrix, right? Convert the matrix into echelon form. Right? And find the limit of the so-and-so function. Find the differentiability of the so-and-so function. Evaluate the following integral. These kind of questions to be asked in exam. When these kind of questions are asked in the exam, but you have studied in way back in 11th and 12th. they're automatically answered. They're automatically answered without any mind because you have been practiced from the way back onwards. But the same 30-40 marks used to come in every optional subject from the 11th and 12th, or else from the graduation courses and all. So, but whenever you are switching to the new optional, even those 30-40 marks also is very tough for you to attempt, since your optional subject is not from the humanities background. I'm not criticizing. If you're obviously having interest in the humanities or interest in any optional, you first read something about that. So, will I able to, manage this optional? Am I having capability of managing this optional? So then you can choose. Like the same mathematics also, okay, I've studied so many years on what says mathematics, I'm able to manage, that's more important. But after interest and, sincerity from your end, then you have to see guidance. In which optional subject more guidance is available, more, material stuff for, classes and test series available, that's more important. Suppose if you see any engineering course, engineering courses also are good, right? But the problem with the engineering courses, like civil engineering, mechanical engineering and all, the problem with these engineering courses, guidance is less, but dedication is needed. Like mathematics, I developed this stuff for the mathematics, right? So, lot of support I created in the mathematics. Even I can say 100%. I can't say 99%. See how much hard work have been done for making the, availability of the content. That's more important. But that available, systematically we have a materials, systematically we have a class, systematically we have this I would say, test series. But only student is required to become a systematic person. If student is not a systematic person, I'm not sure. The biggest problem with the nowadays students, the biggest, my first year tak maths honors kar raha tha, and the distance say political science. No, if you are really having, I understood your point. You attend some days classes. If you're really it's going to work for you, then you can try to continue with the mathematics, right? Yeah, it's okay. Syllabus complete, test series, practice. It's okay. You have a test series, you have a syllabus, completion also, everything is possible. But see, my suggestion, to crack any competition exam, I'm not sure to advise you can read 100% syllabus as 100%. This is the wrong thinking. This is the wrong thinking. Because, you're not studying only mathematics. You're studying what? Lot of general studies contents. You have to balance between these subjects. If you can see any of the rank holder, have they got, like in 11th, 12th, in 11th, 12th, people used to get 100 by 100 marks. Even sometimes in the graduation also, not in IITs, in general, colleges. In IITs, I think there is a relative form of the grading and all, right? There people won't get. That's a different thing. But somebody used to ask me a question that, so why don't we get here 10% marks in the mathematics? You're not studying only mathematics, you're studying many other subjects. That's one thing. Second, if you see any of the rank holder, how much percentage they got out of the total marks of the UPSC? Hardly 50%. Has anybody got, has anybody got 60-70% marks? No, not at all. Fatafat. From you started your preparation in this month, or else you have started in way back?
Good morning, sir. I just started my preparation, and this is my first class actually.
Oh my god. Okay. Have you heard anything about the exam?
Sir, I have went through the syllabus, the previous year question papers,
Okay.
Just this.
What is your background? B.Tech or B.Sc?
So I am B.Sc graduate.
From?
Delhi University.
Oh, that's great. Next. B.Tech or B.Sc?
B.Sc, sir.
From?
D
You tell me.
Delhi University.
Delhi University. From which college?
Miranda House.
Miranda House. That's great. And yeah, it's okay. I just wanted to aware of something, and who can say that? किसी और बच्चे को दो एक बार. Who aware about the marks? इसको नहीं, किसी और को दो. बात करेगा नहीं, करेगा ना आप?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, बात करो. Generally, कोई भी rank holder,
Yes, sir.
the best of the best rank below the 100 rank. For them, how many marks you used to get? 50% or more than 50% or more than 60%?
They around get 52, around 53.
Around 52, 53%.
Yes, sir.
So see, the people used to get good grading in the graduation and 11th and 12th, but in the UPSC, 50% plus, they used to get what? Better rank below the 100. Right. That is the case. But you know, what's the situation? Why people are not able to get? Only the point is that they have to balance between a lot of, subjects too. Subjects. Like in general studies, in optional and all. But how many marks you awarded in the mathematics optional? Can you tell me? How many marks you awarded of mathematics optional marks?
Around in between 300 to 350.
Highest marks in the mathematics. Highest marks in the mathematics, 375 out of the 500. It's very huge, too much. In the new pattern of exam. So 300 is very average for any student. If any student doesn't get 300 marks, somewhere he did a mistake in his preparation, not done very well. That's a fact. So you are choosing the mathematics optional. It means that you have to think at least your average marks to be what? This, 300 plus. Yeah, 300 plus is needed. Otherwise, choosing the mathematics optional is not good. Okay, even people do not get the 300 plus marks, still they get the selection because of the other reasons of the other subjects of the general studies. But in mathematics, what kind of marks you are wanting, those marks you can get. So I can say, in the old pattern of the 600 marks, people got 430 marks, 410 marks, and 408 marks, and so on. There are around 10 people got, 10 students got in one of the particular year, in 2011 or 12 something, in 2011 I'm sure. So they are very huge marks. From that year onwards, people started looking at the mathematics. People started looking at the mathematics. It's a fact. It's all because of what? Resource availability. In which optional resource is available, that is what you have to choose. And otherwise, without resource availability, yes, there are a lot of humanities options. Resource availability is less. But still people used to choose because they are easy to read. But wherever the things are going to be happening easily, there you cannot guarantee you can gain the marks. Most of the humanities optionals are poison type. In a sense, they look very easy. But at the time of attending classes, we feel that okay, we are understanding everything is going good. But we never cross-check ourselves, am I able to write a good answer on that content, what I'm, attending the classes, or what I'm preparing? They never check. They'll keep on read as a novel. That doesn't help you, right? But like in mathematics, you have not studied with the pre-reading sometimes. You don't understand the class itself. You don't able to cope up with the class itself. It means that immediately it says to you, you have not done any pre-work. That's the reason you are not understanding. Some things to be understandable, even after you are having this kind of background, some things to be understandable, but every time, kind of mathematics or kind of any science optional, you need to come with what? Some reading. Otherwise, you can't. Like in class also, I explain the concept. Like in class also, I'll explain the concept. Immediately I can try and put the what? The previous year questions. Right. I'll explain the concept. I'll try and do one model question. Then I'll, throw the what? Some previous year questions. That is what where, if you are able to do immediately, then you understand, okay, I'm able to do the previous year questions. But this kind of cross-check is not possible in the humanities. They come and teach as a lecture and they go. But why mathematics is going to take so much of time? Obviously, it is needed two sides of the work, of the student as well as the teacher, right? It's not a one-side work. And teacher comes and does his job and goes, and that is not the case in the mathematics. So teacher also has to, explain the concept, immediately has to give the problems, and the students have to, have to be like to do the problems, what is being given in the classes. That's more important. That's the reason it takes obviously time. But learning is solid. But if you are thinking that nowadays the students are like in a YouTube, there is a shorts. Students' minds became a shorts, right? So that shorts mindset is not going to be help anybody to do a good preparation, right? And they want to finish as early as possible. Somebody used to see, nowadays a lot of video lectures used to be leaking also, right? People are just only trying to see those videos and they feel that, okay, I'm doing my preparation. But they watch the videos in which format? 2x format or 1.5x format and 1x format, right? 1x is okay. 1.5 is also not okay. 2 also is 2 never okay, right? But what they do just by doing the 2x speed of the video, they don't do anything. This is not a speech to listen from anybody. It is a content what you have to gain and you have to do again. You have to do again. The reflection is needed. For the reflection to get, you have to see things in a slow and steady format. That's more important. Okay. Somebody saying, how many aspirants get 300? A lot of people. You can go and see IMS site. You can get a lot of people cleared 300 marks. Right. You are choosing the mathematics optional. It means that for the marks, not for the subject to learn. Right. And in the humanities, you feel that when you study something, I'm studying for my country, I'm studying for my nation. That's okay. In general studies, every general studies subject is also, content is also that, that information related to the nation, right, our world. But in mathematics, no information related to the nation, right? It's maths to be calculated. But don't be emotional, right? Try to be emotional to clear the exam. That's more important. Okay. Yeah, it's fine. But see, my point of view is that choose the optional from the background. That's more important. How to become IAS is more important. And how to learn the subject is not more important. And what logics to be, what strategy to be made to crack the good marks, to crack 50 to 60%. In mathematics, to gain 70-75% is not very difficult. One simple strategy is that I don't know whether exactly you follow the same thing or not, but just I'm putting up my idea, nothing else. Okay, you're choosing the mathematics or choosing the mathematics optional. So it means that you have to aspire for how many marks? At least 300 plus. Otherwise, not advisable to take it. What a lot of people do of starting their optional subject? They want to read the subject in deeply. Whatever the deeply you wanted to study, you've been studied in the graduation and 11th and 12th and all, in the post-graduation and all. But there also teachers won't like to teach deeply. They'll also teach the contents in a level, what they give the questions in an exam, right? But anyway, it's okay. But here, my point is that you have to see this optional subject or any optional subject, how to gain the marks. That's more important. I've heard from one person, and I think he became IAS. And he chose the history optional. He chose the word history optional. And he came with his word, some brother-in-law, brother, and his brother chooses the word mathematics. He chose. And he has written now already with mathematics 1 or 2 mains exams. Right. But in his 3rd mains, I believe, he came down to me. So what do I do? My background is, his background is good also in maths. Right. And he has not gone to any coaching class. Right. He has studied IMS material. Honestly accepted. So what do I do? I'm doing my all preparation well. And feeling that my preparation is going so nice. But I'm not gaining the marks. And last year I opted the IMS test series. But I've not written, I've not given all the tests. Right. Because of the, syllabus is not covered. So what do I do? Very first I said him, first of all, your reference would be a test series. For him I'm saying, not for you. Reference is a test series. Second, never go with the word again and again, concepts to read. Once you learn the concept, that is over. Then always focus on doing the word questions. So why that step came into, how that step came, right? That's not a matter for you. That's not a matter to learn, right? Just you can follow the word. What are the methods? What are the steps to be followed? So this is the time to follow like that. So if you started doing again and again, his background, I think Delhi University from B.Sc is nice, and it means that the people who are from the Delhi University, they may know pure maths as well. Like what? Linear algebra, like modern algebra, like real analysis, like complex analysis. Their understanding is good, right? But I'm not sure their applied maths is good, okay? Like OD, they used to face a problem in differentiation, integrations, right? Even in the calculus also, when, complex calculations used to come, they stuck. So that's what we're needed. Not just understanding is important. How logically step to be moved on. But in this point of time, the B.Tech people are good. With the B.Tech people, the beauty is that, most of the B.Tech people with the beauty is that, I'm not saying every B.Tech person, most of the B.Tech people, they don't know theorem statement, they don't know any background of that particular question, but they bring the answer. They bring the answer. So that is because of what? That elementary stage of the preparation, the JE preparation. That logic always plays in the mind. That's what truth. I'm not saying with everybody, most of the people, right? But in the case of the BSc, MSc people, they know the theory, but when it comes to the computation part, they're stuck. That's the biggest problem. Where those BSc, B.Tech people, BSc, MSc people needed a lot of practice. When complex computations used to come, they leave there only. I've seen in the modern algebra a lot of people. When theory goes on in the class, they feel glad. When it comes to the problems in the even modern algebra, they feel, down. That, if that small coverage will be made, I can bet their preparation is also good. But with the B.Tech people, I just told just now, and they need, they have a logics, they have a good computation skills, most of the B.Tech people, but they need some theoretical, some concept background. Some writing background is also needed because they won't write generally in a nice format. But these BSc, MSc people, they write very nice, right? Very nice answer writing. But B.Tech people, they won't write, they'll always play with the word logic. But this exam is needed very legible writing. That's very important. Not only logic, need to write properly. That's very important, okay. So, I'm saying fact should try to realize, okay. Yeah, finally, his brother who became IAS, he said, "Sir, I mugged up my history. I'm not thinking that, I should learn, history properly. And so I can do something for the, nation or anything. My aim was only to clear the exam. For that, I did what? Lot of things I used to understand, but finally I have to remember. I remembered. Now I became officer, but now I've forgotten everything. If anybody asks me any question from history, I don't know what to answer. So that's what, basically. So we do not try to become emotional. We have to be emotional to crack the what? Exam, how to crack. That's important. See, if you come to me, as I'm a teacher, I can suggest you something. Your mind should be accepted in such a manner to do that work immediately. What the people, what they do, they take the suggestion, but they won't follow. Right? Obviously that suggestion, if any teacher is giving a suggestion, very obvious that he will give a nice suggestion. Definitely there is work format suggestion. Work format suggestion, need to work. If that work is not done by the student, then obviously it's not going to be help them. That's the case. And lot of people draw their timetable, but they never follow the timetable. Right? A lot of people draw the timetable, they never follow the timetable. Okay? And they put on the wall in their 4-wall side room, they put on the wall their timetables. History is to be studied 1 hour or 2 hours in general studies history, and polity is to be studied 3 hours or 2 hours, and they put up the segregations of the timings. So once the 2 hours is over, they leave then and there and they switch to what? Polity. This is a wrong study. This is a wrong study completely. So my point of view is that if you're studying something, you have to study it completely up to the conclusion. Otherwise, with the time segregation, if you're going to switching to the word subject without full stop, without comma, then that's completely wrong study. So if you are studying polity, means that you thoroughly can study the polity and finish it and switch to the new subject. Right? Thoroughly means that always study, always read any content by seeing the previous year questions. Without seeing the previous year question, just studying polity doesn't help you at all. Yeah, a lot of people. Alok Agarwal. From 2019, and cross 350, and very less people even cross 300. It depends upon the people and the cream. See, my observation says, from the COVID onwards, in the COVID it's okay. People wanted to get saved by themselves, and that's what they did. The COVID has changed, drastically every human, especially in education. What I found, I'm not know. I didn't know anything about what other part of the society. Since I'm in the education field, I can say about this. These online stuffs came. Before COVID, nobody was liking to attend the classes on online. Right? Before COVID, nobody was liking to attend online. They used to come down to the offline only. Right? They want to meet the teacher. Right? Then everything. Then there is a teacher and student relation also used to go on. Right? That obviously that makes a healthy, steady environment. If that is not there, obviously it won't. Number one. Number two, whenever what people are doing, later on, what people are doing, coming down to the online classes and all the way 1 hour coming, going back 1 hour, it is 2 hours. Time consuming, not good. Okay, I'll study at my room only by watching the online classes or by watching this live class. But obviously, whenever you can get a doubt, you can't ask, you can write, some doubt on the chat box, I can read and, say I can clear some of the doubts. It's okay, right? But when you are in the offline, it's very obvious that if you can get a doubt, or in between the teacher, like what in between the class, the teacher gives the problem and, move around in the classroom. And he will discuss with you some of the doubts. That environment is not possible on online. Next. And even after the class also, teacher is available. Even now, within the class also, the peer group people also available. Somebody who sits beside you, he does the problem very quickly. If you are not able to do, somewhere you are going to feel guilty and wanted to do next day, you are also. But that, environment is lost after the, this COVID, basically. So people became alone and wanted to study up the PDF and all, or video format or anything. But whatever, I teach the class in the video. I never try to teach any hardcore problem, because in a hardcore problem, two-way communication is required. Simple basics are easily discussed in the normal video classes, right? But those simple basics are not going to come in exam, right? Even IMS notes is so good, excellent, because of that only, a lot of people, started, taking the mathematics option. What this IMS notes has done, suppose you are a student attending the class and you got a note from IMS, obviously. When you, keep your notes at your room, some of your friends came, or one of your friend came. He is also same background of yours. And he started seeing your notes. Okay, it's very nice. Okay, I also would like to take a maths option. So like that, day after day, year after year, people started increasing. And, the results are also appearing every year constantly, right? But in the point of the marks, nowadays, it's very obvious. I just told that the reason exactly. Earlier people used to get. If you come to me, like if you take an example of the PD, canonical form question definitely comes in exam. Applications of PD, there must be a question from exam, from one dimension, right? And there is a Lagrange question in the first order and first degree. That must come in exam. Formation of the PD, that must come in exam. But when you practice and shows to the teacher, then that comes into the reality. Like in OD, from exact there must be a question. From exact there must be a question, right? And from the linear OD with the constant coefficients, there must be a question. There is Cauchy-Euler almost a question from that. There is a content name is called in a OD. If you have been heard about that, and because a lot of people here and there they're watching the videos in YouTube, and everybody is coming onto the YouTube and teaching something. Even nowadays, the people who started preparation also, they are also teaching and learning something. So that's a waste of the time. But who is teaching? Just enough, the person is enough to have the word mobile, some internet connection, then they can teach. Reality. But that, the hardcore things never happen on online. Right. Just like OD, one more question. There is a solution of the differential equation of the form d²/dxk plus p of x into d of dx plus q of x into y is equal to r of x. It can be solved by the 4 methods. Out of the 4 methods, 100% there is a 1 method in exam. So when you come to the class and meet with the teacher, then reality comes into the preparation. That's what lacking. I think, why, I just told, this guy asked a nice question, right? Why people are getting less marks. So why, for qualifying the preliminary, out of the 200 marks of the general studies, right? At least 110, 115, 120, 125 is needed. Then only people used to qualify in the preliminary before the COVID, or even in COVID also, right? All of a sudden, the score gets down out of the 200 marks, only 75 marks last year. Then what quality of the students are coming up? What competition is going on? I don't think so, any competition. In one of the reservation part, I think 43 to 47 marks out of the 200. Even he puts in the exam of the preliminary, A options. Still he gets these kind of marks. All questions, if he is going to put A, or else B, or else C, or else D, right? He will get these marks. Where is the competition lies? Nowhere competition lies. Competition lies within us. People don't see within us. People see in the others. Okay, what the others are preparing. What others are preparing, don't concentrate. What you are preparing is more important. Okay. This is the biggest lacking is happening. So that means why? Because this was happened because of this online and all. People are going to see on one content I have a 10 people lectures. What do you do with the 10 people lectures? You just see only one lecture properly, again and again, again and again. Get an observation. If you have a doubt, consult, then only things will help you. But good for nothing, consulting so many not is going to be help you. Just like once upon a time in 1970s or 1980s or even 1960s, people won't get the food properly. Even to get a food, one session is very tough. That one session also they get food very tough manner, and that food they are going to be eat properly without leaving any piece in the plate. But after some time, people used to get 3 times food. Even with the 3 times, how many types of the the curries they are going to put up in their plate? So many types of the curries they are going to put up in their plate of the food. They won't eat any curry properly. They touch it, and they leave in between. Finally, they are decided, it's okay, I've eaten something, this. Okay, it's a bit better. It's not very good. Finally, you can leave completely. So nowadays, education situation is the same. Because olden times, student used to move around the teacher to get one textbook or to get anything. He goes to the teacher again and again, sir, please, I wanted this. He searches in his library, or he searches in his study room of the teacher, right? And one day he brings. After 1 month or 2 months, or else after some time, teacher gives that particular book. Then that student, since he got that book with a very heart, then he never leave any page. He will read thoroughly of that. That's what is real learning. But nowadays, there's nothing. Okay, if you want any book, if you want any video, if you want any, PDF, then immediately in seconds you are getting. Then what do you do? If that PDF is coming up, and you're just going to be scroll down, and you're going to be scroll up, and you read something, some lines, then you leave aside. So what you have studied from that? Nothing. So that is that kind of situation, that kind of mentality is the result of what? This 75 marks, or even people are not getting good marks in the optionals also. That's the case. Otherwise, whatever you are studying, the stuff now is the same stuff as the older stuff. The people, when they got 375 marks, 360 marks, 340 marks, 350 marks, something, the same material they have studied, the same classes they have seen through, they have gone through. But why it's not happening now? It's a fault of the students, not the fault of the other. Is it okay? The guy was asking me this, Agarwa, Alok, you say something, yes, no? For your question only, I'm answering these things. So, nowadays, that's the reason I would like to convey here. At least 2-3 years, I believe, from now onwards or from last year onwards, I would say, this recession is going to be happen. Recession means that students are not going to study. Not studying recession is going to be happen. This is the time for you, to crack this. You have to try to become serious. Try to become serious and try to see in you have a competition within you, not with others. That's what my suggestion. And not studying very well and wanted to see here and there how many people, how many lakhs of people are attending this. How many lakhs are attending? What is the matter for you? What is the need for you? It's of no use. It's none of your business. It's none of your business. But a lot of people see like that. But you see, 6 lakhs plus people failed in CSAT last year. How tougher they are. They feel and say that CSAT is very tough. No exam is very tough, I can tell you. Every exam is having some certain pattern. You have to sync with the pattern. You have to go and see the pattern and study the pattern and follow that. if you see in the CSAT, this basic numeracy, if you see in the CSAT, in basic numeracy, only all questions are hit and trial questions. Just like take an example of the mechanic person. What the mechanic person does, he will see one bolt, does it fit? And tries to fit it. It is not going to fit. He leaves aside. Again, he tries with another bolt, tries it, not going to work. Again, he tries to see with third bolt. Yeah, it's going to fit. So he's going to fit finally. So that way the whole basic numeracy is going to be happen. But the problem is with a lot of humanities people, a lot of veteran preparation people, since they've been untouched with what? Untouched with the mathematics. From the, long years, they don't know how to hit and trial on the questions. None of the questions relevant to the formula. None of the questions relevant to the speed maths calculations. So because of the people not preparing exactly to the point of exam, every exam is having, see if you can see any UPSC or any exam, 10 years question papers you can see, go back. What happens? You will always see some pattern. Tries to sync with that pattern and then work. So people won't see that. People see only, people always, I would say, what background need for maths option? This person magical attractive, his name. Oh. You put your own name, man. Are you a magical person? Yeah. I would say the graduation with any graduation with the mathematics, BA Maths also, B.Sc Maths also, any of the B.Tech, right? Any of the B.Tech means B.Tech with any branch. All these guys are eligible for maths to take? Okay. But I don't suggest the people who are not from the mathematics background, I don't suggest them to take the maths, right? Because some things, very hardcore things also to be, studied here. But when hardcore things will come in the subject, that's what they feel to understand. Okay. Yeah, it's okay. So this is what what I'm trying to say. You always work with the word with a proper strategy. Some people make a lot of strategies, they won't study anything. That's only for the strategy. That doesn't make sense, right? Next. I just told somewhere, I would write here optional subject. How many you desire to get? If you are really, 300 plus is good. If you're desiring 300 plus, only choose the maths, otherwise you've done some mistake in your preparation. And a lot of people, what they do, they blame the others when they don't get anything. When you blame yourself, you gain something next. But very less human, they blame themselves. It's a fact I've seen. Even including me also. I may blame others. I may not blame myself. That's a human inbuilt nature. Right. क्या हो रहा है? कोई दिक्कत है क्या? अच्छा. Okay. Yeah, that's for the case. Second point is that nowadays the new trend has happened. The rank holders, whosoever, they are claiming I prepared on my own. How they've been prepared on their own without any support? But if they have been prepared on their own, why to stay in Delhi in this abrupt, environment? Summer is more, winter is more, pollution is more, pollution, food and pollution, water and everything. This is the biggest misguidance point for the new aspirants. When somebody claimed that I prepared on my own, right? They have come for the coaching, they have come for the test, and they have come, opted the material and everything. Okay. But at the end of the success, they claim that I prepared on my own. I'm not studied anywhere, right? Okay, that is well and good. If the same thing is applied, that the same technique is applied by, because they are not, some human doesn't want to give a credit to anyone. They wanted to claim their own. They wanted to claim their credit to their own, right? That's what the nature in human generally. Okay, that's well. But that's okay. The new aspirants, when they see that particular video, what the new aspirants follow? Okay, I'll also prepare my own. That's okay. They didn't know any ABCD in the preparation. They started their own. But how many years to be wasted here? Lot many years to be wasted here. The biggest misguidance nowadays is happening with the rank holders, not with any or teachers or anybody else, I believe. So that should not be done that should not be done by any of the rank holder, because if they've been studied through some source, they have to suggest that particular source. Then that new aspirant will go directly to that source. That makes sensible. So my suggestion to all the new aspirants here, don't misguide by these so-called rank holders. Right? Human society is a very destructive kind of society. You always be intelligent with the mind. And what is correct, what is not correct, you have to decide. If you are not able to decide what is correct, what is wrong, somewhere there is a fault in you also. Somewhere there is a fault in you also. Where there is a knowledge, there is a lot of misguidance also. जहाँ पे ज्ञान होते हैं वहाँ पे भी just like take an example, I won't say it's very correct or wrong. Varanasi, you heard. Kasi, you heard. Why people go to that place? That's a worshipping place. Ganga तो रहता है ना वहाँ पे? Yeah, very obvious. वहाँ पे जो जाते हैं दुख से जाते हैं. वहाँ पे जो जाते हैं दुख से जाते हैं. पंडित क्या करते हैं? ऐसे गंगा से पानी लेके ऐसे ऐसे करके रखते हैं, चलो आपका सारे कष्ट निकल गए, जाओ, पैसे ले लेते हैं. बट किया कुछ नहीं उन्होंने. The same is true. Like a Rajendra Nagar place, like a Mukherjee Nagar place, these are the places where you can get a lot of guidance. But at the same time, there you can get a lot of misguidance also. That misguidance by anyone. But you are the person who has to decide, am I misguiding by anyone? Am I doing my job properly? You have to have a nature to decide. If you are not having that capacity to decide, somewhere there is a fault in you. If you are fooled by somebody, somewhere there is a fault by you. So that's more important. Somebody can come, rank holder will come. I am studying 18 hours. Hare, ye kya baat hai? Somebody can say, I am just only sleeping 4 hours. Who says this? Okay, someone says. अरे 4 घंटे सो रहे तो मतलब 1 हफ्ते के बाद बीमार पड़ जाता है आदमी. इतना बड़े पर्सन आके ऐसे मिसगाइड करना ठीक नहीं है. कितने बार नैप लेते हैं दिन में? 10 नैप लेते हैं, 5 नैप लेते हैं, पता नहीं है. ओके गाइस, बट समबडी हु कम्स एंड सेज, अच्छा आप लोगों को समझ में आ रहा है क्या 4 घंटे का मतलब? पता नहीं, जी के तो पढ़ो तभी तो समझ में आता है. ठीक है, या एंड 18 आवर्स. Somebody who is studying 18 hours, if somebody who is saying 18 hours I am studying, don't believe of this. I can say 8 to 10 hours is maximum reading is possible, not more than that. According to me, I've seen a lot of people, right? So don't misguide by anyone. You can always run your preparation with your own capacity. You may know your weakness and strength. You can try and work on weakness and try to continue your strength. That's more important. Okay? Yeah, it's okay. If I come to the case of the marks, see, it's a very simple strategy. Being a mathematics teacher, how I think, that's what you can try. If it is good, you can follow. If it is not good for you, if it's not going to work for you, don't follow it. Okay. How many hours should we give to maths? No, I can't say. If I say anything, right, I'm a wrong person. Why, Bob? Because how many hours to give to mathematics, right? It depends upon your capacity, your skills in maths. If you're having good skills in maths, just attending class also will help you. That's more than enough. Or just studying few hours, 2-3 hours also will help you. But if you are not good in basics, you are not good in basics, then you have to study more. Then you have to study more. Like differentiation formulas, integration formulas, right? Like I would say, in the matrices also there are some formulas, and how to find inverse, how to find, how to do the row operations, what is an echelon form. If you don't know these basics, then obviously you have to read more hours. If you have these basics, yeah, with the less hours also it can work. Like example, if I take a Kanish Kataria, I've seen in him a lot of smartness. With him the goodness is that, yes, he was having a lot of basics knowledge. He didn't have any problem with the basics. And if you ask me any suggestion, sir, what to do, you have to do this much only. He does that much. But to read directly also this content, you need to have a pre-knowledge, pre-basics knowledge. If you're not having a pre-basics knowledge, right? Pre-basics knowledge, if you're not having a pre-basics knowledge, then it's a problem to reach out to this place. That's the reason, to crack any exam, to understand anything, basics knowledge is more important. A lot of people will miss that. Okay, किसने बता रहे हैं? Magical attract. अरे आपका नाम, असली नाम देखो, Magical. सर आपका मैथ्स का बहुत वीडियो मैंने सर्च किया बट मिला नहीं. हाँ, मैंने तो वैसे वीडियो रिकॉर्डिंग तो देता नहीं, अपना जीवन को भी बचाना है ना. आजकल पूरा मार्केट बवाल हो गया, सबका वीडियो ऐसे लीकेज हो गया, सब बच्चे खाली मतलब कमरा में बैठ के वीडियो ही देख रहे हैं. राइट, डू यू नो दैट? सो बच्चे अपना लाइफ को बर्बाद कर रहे वीडियो देखते देखते. सो इसीलिए बर्बाद का वर्ड मैंने यूज़ किया. सी हाउ मच वी कैन रिटेन, दैट्स मोर इम्पॉर्टेंट. When someone is back with you, when someone is in support of you, then retaining power is going to be increased day after day. But if you are alone and seeing and watching something, but how much you are retaining from that, that's what nobody knows, only God knows, or only you know yourself. So I have good skills and much more interest in mathematics, but for 2025, I don't have much time. Okay, what should I do for time management? I can't say. See, I can tell you really, I can feel proudly and say confidently, I created a nice resource for mathematics. You know why I made that material? My point of view is that even students studying at 1 o'clock in night also, he has to that particular person must have the resource in a crisp format, right, and exact format. What he practices, he has to see the question in exam. That's what my thinking. So once after doing the classes, if he goes home and watching the 10 books by spreading around him, it takes a lot of time. I've cut down that. Nothing to see from the 10 books, right? If you can choose the classes, I can bet you can get a lot of questions in everyday class, right, possibly. But I don't want to teach apart from the notes. I can go in the lines of the notes only. Sometimes if a candidate does not come with the reading of the notes, he may not understand the content, right? Inko mic do, Kmal? Yes, I'm asking some student to speak about, right? मतलब कौन सा वाला chapter से attend कर रहे हैं आप? From which chapter?
Linear algebra.
Linear algebra.
Vector analysis.
Vector analysis. What others? LPP you are doing.
Yes, sir.
Or anything else?
No, sir.
Okay. कभी मतलब what is your experience like? I would just ask you. Sometimes without studying, if you are coming to the class, will you understand?
सर वेक्टर एनालिसिस में बहुत प्रॉब्लम होती है
क्योंकि
वो वीकली होता है.
That is okay.
Yes, sir.
I'm just asking a case that that's it.
अगर
वो
पढ़
week
के
gap
ना
में
हो
क्या?
तो तब बहुत प्रॉब्लम होती है.
बहुत प्रॉब्लम होता है.
वेक्टर में प्रॉब्लम होती है.
आपके लिए तो वेक्टर में प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है, बाकी में तो नहीं हो रहा.
क्योंकि वीकली होता है ना वो, तो रेगुलर रिवीजन इज वेरी नेसेसरी.
Correct. Yeah, that's in weekends what is going to be happen? The gap is going to become, you'll neglect, right? But my question is not that.
Okay,
my question is something else. If any student comes without reading sometimes,
yes, sir.
or pre-reading of the material, will he understand every time the class?
सर अगर जैसे पढ़ा हुआ है पहले से तो समझ आएगा,
नहीं तो नहीं आता ना,
नहीं तो थोड़ी सी प्रॉब्लम होगी लेकिन आ जाएगा।
यस, फिर भी आ जाएगा।
यस सर।
So that is our perception.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay, great. Yeah, see, you know, when student will come with word with advanced reading, what happens? Things are in his control. When teacher is teaching, means that I am teaching here. You can do problems advancedly also. When you get doubt, you can ask me also. Right. So that's the situation is going to become. And it depends basically. Okay. Magical attractive person depends upon the particular person basically. There is a 𝒕𝒉𝒂𝒏𝒄𝒉𝒂𝒏𝒄𝒆, sir, I have a good, okay, that I have studied essays. Is coaching compulsory? Background is engineering. Coaching compulsory, I am not saying. It depends on you. If you want to crack this exam at the earliest possibility, guidance is good, means that coaching is good. No, I can do myself, a lot of things are available, then you can lose your time 1 or 2 years or 2-3 years, and still it may not be consolidated, because with by coming to the coaching, the benefit I can tell you exactly what is my viewpoint. I'm not saying my partiality information, I'm not saying, and as genuine suggestion to anyone, coaching means that guidance place, number 1. Number 2, by coming to the classes every day, since if you have a good background, by coming to the classes every day, you understand that your task to be finished. Today this task, tomorrow this, and after tomorrow this. Task is going to be, finished. You are on the track of the preparation. Second point, out of having so much knowledge in so many areas, there certainly you have holes. Certainly you have holes. Like example, I'll tell you, in a calculus, not in calculus, in the real analysis. In the real analysis, there's a content name called uniform continuity. Uniform continuity. I can bet lot of people, won't concentrate on this. Even the concentrates also, they won't get, exact format of answer. But otherwise, everybody knows limit, continuity, differentiability. In between that, a small, छोटा सा निशान ऐसे आता है, you can't aware of this properly when you prepare on your own. After writing one time of exam, right? After writing one time of exam, you'll aware of, okay, there's a question is coming. Uniform continuity I have not written very well, right? So that kind of, mistakes to be covered by coming to the class. Like in a ODE, everybody says, I know exact, I know homogeneous, I know, this linear and all. But in entire ODE, there's a content name called, singular solutions. People won't aware of that, I can bet. How to find envelope and all. When you come to the guidance place, that's where you can concentrate to know that. You know everything, but you don't know that particular point. Because of that particular point only you are missing the exam. But if you take the example of the 3D geometry, everybody feels happy up to this sphere chapter. From, sphere after, still cone, cylinder is also okay. But when it goes to the word, there is a conic chapter, I can bet a lot of people won't do anything. There is a generating lines. Uska halat kharab hota hai. That's where coaching is needed. Right. That means that filling up the dots, coaching is needed properly. What do some people do? Sir, I do only this chapter. With that chapter, how many things you come to know? There are, there's a lot of linkage between the chapters. There's a lot of linkage between the chapters. Like, if you see, guys, that calculus is a mix with what? Real analysis. RA means that real analysis. Okay? And again, and this calculus will help you what? Vector analysis. And somewhere this calculus will help you complex analysis. Right. Again, I would say 3D geometry will help you vector analysis. Again, now I would like to say there is a chapter name called linear algebra is, I would say, if and only for Moran algebra. If and only for, mean that who knows linear algebra, they understand easily Moran algebra and vice versa, right? But otherwise, linear algebra is very light content. But Moran algebra is not, it looks light, but it's not light. Like there are five properties. What are the 5 properties? I think everybody may know. Closure, associativity, identity, and inverse, and then what? Commutative. These 5 properties look so easy in the initial stage. And those 5 properties revolve again and again till the end of the chapter. And when you are absent in between the classes, or even you are regular to the class and not studying regularly, it does not understandable by you. That systematic content it is. But the same properties are here also, but content orientation is different. And in an entire syllabus of the mathematics, linear algebra is only the subject or only the chapter you will gain the 100% marks. But I can't guarantee 100% marks with the other topics, though they look very easy. Though they look very easy, right? And again, this linear algebra somewhere will help you. LPP, this is matrix knowledge, right? Again now, this ODE implies not if only, PDE, okay? And 3D has been covered, calculus and, okay? Then linear algebra and Section B, paper 1, ODE and vector analysis, somewhere I told, that is a link with the word calculus. And again, just like how do I say link with the calculus? In the calculus you can see what? Limit continuity differentiability. Same limit continuity differentiability you see here. In the calculus you see the word integration. The same sort of integration you can see here. But limit continuity in the calculus same is in the complex analysis. But orientation is different, right? The integration you can see here, the same sort of integration you can see here. And this sometimes these 2 chapters integrations are going to be same also, right? And here we are going to read a region, or else a surface, or else I would say volume. But here I'll be going to read about the word domain. The domain is the same as what? Region, right? So that's the thing you can see. And I can say modern algebra is covered, PD is covered, calculus is covered, and LPP is covered, and what? There's a complex analysis covered, and then what? Numerical. Yeah, calculus will help you. Numerical to understand. There's simple one statement I'll tell you, where the calculus will help you in numerical. Just like one statement. Sir, I'm sure that we will see 340. What is 340? Okay. Yeah. Is it too late to start mathematics? And no, don't imagine so much. Don't strategize so much. You're getting an idea today means that you have to start today. That's it. Don't plan so much. Sometimes so much a plan is going to be make you utter flop. Okay. And sometimes without any plan we go and see. Then you do something there. I believe most of the times strategy is okay. At the same time, if you are going to be lose that strategy, the strategy is not going to help you. You should be confident. That's more important. Okay. RCB. What is RCB? हाँ? क्या? अच्छा, cricket match. Just like what IPL, just last time. IPL में क्या हुआ? शायद nobody was having a guess that IPL है क्या T20 है ना? पिछले बार जो इंडिया तो जीता है ना? T20, correct. So nobody was having hope India can win, right? But till the last breath, till the last drop, they were fighting. Finally they got win. So the UPSC also same. UPSC also the same. Shouldn't be. So much, A lot of people, you know, they do, sir, I'm writing first time mains. Kitna baar likhte mains? First time mains is a good. Try and crack the word. Exam in first attempt only. In first time mains only. You strategize in such a manner, you can execute that. That's more important. Okay. Yeah, but I'll be coming to there's even I would say, Achha, I've forgotten to say, here how it's a link, this is how this calculus is linked with the numerical answer. Just I can spell out one statement. And how to detect the roots, where my root lies between. To know, there is a statement called opposite hand theorem. Sometimes I would say that is a intermediate value theorem. What is that statement? If a function f of x is continuous on the closed interval a comma b, and f and fb are opposite in signs, then there exists at least one point c which lie between a and b, such that f of c is equal to 0. That statement tells us where my root lies, in which location my root is lying. So from that, in this numerical analysis, you learn the word bisection method, you learn the word regular falsy method, even you can get the help of word Newton-Raphson method, you can get the help of word secant method also. The same integrations we see here, the same differentiation we see here. A lot of things. And again, this calculus will help one more chapter name called yeah, I know, not right now. This calculus will help one more place. We have been covered up dynamics also. Dynamics, it is truth. This simple harmonic, motion, equation, we'll find a lot of places you can apply. You don't see the dynamics as a physics. You see the dynamics as a mathematics. A lot of people will misguide by themselves. Okay, mechanics is a physics. Okay, statics is a physics. Dynamics is a physics. It's very stupid thinking. Why? See, if you take an example of the thermodynamics. Thermodynamics is in the mathematics also, thermodynamics in physics also, thermodynamics in chemistry also. The orientations are going to be changed. When you see like applications of the PD, there is a heat equation, wave equation. But we never try to do any of the derivation of the heat and wave equation, but the same heat and wave equations will appear in the physics also, but there you have to learn the derivation. Here you have to only solve the problem or solve the equation. That's it. We shouldn't misguide by ourselves. That's more important. If you are going to misguide, you have to see this content, this dynamics as a mathematics thing. But when it comes to the mechanics, when it comes to the word mechanics, there also, in mechanics also, in the continuation of this dynamics you can see. But you see in the language of the mathematics, in the mechanics you can see word, there's a moment of inertia. There's a moment of inertia. This moment of inertia is the same as the word 11/12 of the physics. But there the orientation was different, but here the orientation is different. You can see the moment of inertia over here, 2D and 3D. But we never try and see in the language of the physics, we can try to see in the language of the mathematics. That difference everybody should know. Like in numerical analysis, we get the word computer programming, elementary computer programming. It is not a computer science. It is not a computer. Somebody say, who is from the B.Sc, sir, I'm not studied from I've not studied the computer science. So how do I understand these computers? It's not a computers, man. It's elementary mathematics. Like in number systems. Which number systems you can say? Binary, octal, decimal, hexadecimal, and their conversion to one to another. Like what? I would say this Boolean algebra. George Boole is a mathematician. There's a logical gates. There are what? This I would say flow charts and algorithms of the same methods what you learned. That is the point. We should aware like that. A lot of people will fool by misunderstanding. Right. Overestimations are not going to help you. Right. In this, we learn word somewhere. There is the Lagrange method and there is before that D'Alembert, and there is Lagrange, there is a Hamilton. But see, the fellow Lagrange and Hamilton, D'Alembert, they are everywhere in the mathematics, they are everywhere in the physics also, somewhere in the chemistry also sometimes. They have been contributed to the life. Right. When they are everywhere, they are more or less, their contents are going to be what? Same. Lagrange, you can see the Lagrange in what? In real analysis also Lagrange. You can see in the calculus also. You can see in the word complex analysis. Not complex. I have not seen the statement of the Lagrange. In the 3D geometry also there is a Lagrange identity. In the modern algebra also there is a Lagrange theorem. Everywhere is this Lagrange. Taylor is everywhere. Right. When it comes to the mathematics, you have to learn only mathematics terminology, not to learn something else. Okay. So again, if I go to the word, this statics, again statics, that is related to the geometry only. I would not say it's much relevant to anything or else that's relevant to the geometry. That's the right word to say. क्या बोल रहे हैं प्रकाश चंद्र? हिंदी मीडियम स्टूडेंट, हम कौन सा अंग्रेजी बात कर रहे हैं आपको समझने के लिए? मैथ्स अंग्रेजी इज अ सिंपल, राइट? What maths English? That, put, consider, we have, right? And this kind of language, nothing else. So maths में आंसर राइटिंग प्रैक्टिस, कौन सा आंसर राइटिंग प्रैक्टिस होता है मैथ्स में? कोई आंसर राइटिंग प्रैक्टिस नहीं है. जैसा आप सॉल्यूशन लिखते हैं वही आंसर आपका है, वही आपका आंसर राइटिंग है, राइट? या व्हेन इट कम्स टू द फ्लूइड डायनेमिक्स, lot of people are misguided by this also. They believe that it's a purely physics. It's a stupidity. I'm truly saying, I'm harshly थोड़ा गुस्सा से बता रहा हूँ क्यों? It's a lot of misguidance by the people. And who knows ODE, who knows ODE, who knows PDE, and who knows vector analysis, who knows what? There's a complex analysis. And who knows these 4 chapters, they can do at least 1 or 2 questions, minimum 1 or 2 questions. Free. Only small, activities required in the name of the fluid dynamics. After that, the contents are only these. Solving ODE, solving PD. There is a content name called, in a PD chapter, Lagrange PDE. What is Lagrange PD? We would like to see there. PP plus, QQ plus, QQ is equal to R. What are the Lagrange auxiliary equations? Tx by P, dy by Q, and dz by R. These are Lagrange auxiliary equations. They are same as the streamline equations in this. Whatever we solve activity here in the PD, the same thing we work out here. So you should, instead of avoiding, and awareing sincerely is more important. Awareing sincerely is more important. Don't imagine so much, so big, right? And do work and get imagination, right? प्रकाश, क्या हो रहा है आपके साथ? Don't worry, man. खुश रहो हमसे. Okay. So these are linkages between the basically chapters. But see how there is a linkage between the chapters in the maths. You have a linkage in general studies also. How preparation is going to become easy when you get to know overlapping of the contents. See, in most of the places the calculus is going to help you. People say, sir, I know I have a good knowledge in the calculus. But if you have a good knowledge in the calculus, obviously there is a lot of linkage with the calculus. I always believe who knows algebra and calculus, or who knows algebra and calculus, 100% I can bet with any student, they understand whole mathematics is easily. Whole mathematics is easy. When I, of course, man, I have, after learning this modern algebra, after learning this modern algebra, seriously, learning modern algebra is not very easy, right? So I found that, okay, anyway, calculus is okay, anyone can learn, but in the level of exam, practicing is different, right? After learning this algebra, and algebra means modern algebra, linear algebra also part of that, lot of linkages between these two statements. Shall I spell one place of this, statement here? Like in modern algebra, one place of the statement is that the intersection of any two subgroups of a group is again a subgroup. The intersection of infinitely many subgroups of a group is again a subgroup, right? The union of any two subgroups need not be a subgroup, but the union of any two subgroups is again a subgroup if and only one subgroup is contained in the other. The same is here. Like, but of course, there are three more places like the same. Ideals, rings. The intersection of any two subrings of a ring is again a subring. The intersection of infinitely many subrings of a ring is again a subring. The intersection of the union of any two subrings, not necessarily a subring, but the union of any two subrings is again a word, subring, if and only one subring is contained in the other. Like one more place in the same modern algebra. The intersection of any two ideals of a ring is again an ideal. The intersection of infinitely many ideals is again an ideal, right? The union of any two ideals need not be what? Ideal, but the union of any two ideals again a what? Ideal. If and only one is contained in the other. Like the same here, in a linear algebra there is a content called vector spaces, means that subspaces again. The intersection of any two subspace of a space is again a subspace. The intersection of infinitely many subspace of a space again is subspace. The unit of any two subspace of a space need not be a subspace. The unit of any two subspace of a space is again a subspace if and only for one subspace is contained in the other. The same is true in the LPP. Where is LPP here? Somewhere I wrote, here. This is a convex set. The intersection of any two convex sets of a set, again a convex set. The intersection of infinitely many convex sets is again a convex set. The unit of any two convex sets, not necessarily convex set, but the unit of any two convex sets, again a convex set, if and only for one is contained in the other. Like this, there are many overlaps. जिस दिन बच्चे ओवरलैप को समझता है, राइट? जिस दिन बच्चे ओवरलैप को समझते हैं, उस दिन उसके एग्जाम क्लियर होने के लिए रास्ता बन गया, मान के चलो. Lot of people won't able to, understand the overlap. Like in general studies also you can see, like in, it's not my subject, it's not my domain, but I tell you those things also. If you see a case of the word, if you see the case of the social justice, please, it's not my domain, but I'll tell you. Okay, social justice, SJ. Social justice will help you in general studies, GS. Will help you in what? Essay. Will help you in what? In general studies of which paper this social justice? Paper 2? ये क्या बात है? आप लोग क्या पूरा पढ़ के नहीं आता? Any online guys tell sir, this social justice in which paper? GS 1, 2 or 3? In which paper that is? 2? 2. GS 2. It is a help, it helps in what? GS 4, that is what? Ethics. How many places this content is to be? In 3 places it is. In 3 places it is. You should come to know what are the overlap contents. A lot of people won't aware of. In GS 1, कोई बात नहीं. Right. Like if you see governance. Governance is in which paper here? 2. And it's going to be in what? Essay. It's going to be in what? Ethics. So you should aware like that. So a lot of people won't aware. जिस दिन आपको ओवरलैपिंग समझ में आता है, उस दिन आपका तैयारी ऑलमोस्ट साल हो गया. उस दिन से आपको कोई भी एग्जाम लिखे तो they'll clear. Some people won't qualify the PT from the last 3 or 4 years or 5 years if he's a category person, right? But some people start cracking so many exams. किसी को तो इतने नौकरी मिलता है, किसी को एक नौकरी भी नहीं मिलता है. Only reason was that, I'll tell you, with cracking so many possible exams, is that his level of understanding, level of the content has been reached. When he reaches to the level of, sir, I'm a simple B.Sc student preparing UPSC with a optional technical subject mathematics. No, it's not a technical subject, right? Maths is okay for you, man, since you have a B.Sc background. But my suggestion is that don't opt. If possible, you can come down to Delhi, right? If it is not possible, you can opt the online, but don't opt the online of recorded, right? I don't have any recorded class. I don't do. I have to save my life also, right? And only these kind of live classes we used to, right? Yeah. So, you know, the day the student is having overlapping knowledge, then that day he is able to clear any exam what he prepares. But focusedly, suppose you have chosen the UPSC to prepare, you can work focusedly on the UPSC properly. One day you can acquire possible enough knowledge to crack UPSC, to crack any other also. It's a fact. So that way, can we skip either of? No, I don't suggest you. Why do I suggest you? You can skip any chapter. You have all the linkages. अरे इसको टेलीग्राम ग्रुप में डालो. You have all the linkages. Since you have all the linkages, then what is the point to leave? Since you have a lot of time also, felt little bit problem in moral. Don't worry, right? एक बात जानते क्या आप लोग का? मैं openly बता रहा हूँ. Everybody feels that OD I know and PD I can't say, and everybody feels that vector also I understand, numerical also I understand. But you know, whatever you feel, you know, whatever the things are looks easy, they are not going to give you a lot of benefit, because we feel they are easy, but wherever you feel easy, there you need a lot of practice. But like a modern algebra, you know, it looks easy initially, but whenever you're doing the content, that time onwards, you need to work a lot. But answer writing is more easy in the modern algebra without any mistake. Learning is a time-taking bit, not more. But answer writing is more easy without any computations, only writing statements. But like in a numerical, nothing to understand, nothing is required to understand. Things are easy. It's a whole chapter is a calculator based. If you have a good skill in the calculator, I can bet you will really do a nice job in this. But if you have done any mistake in the computation, then that is where your bad luck starts. So that's the thing. So what I'm suggesting here, pure maths learning takes time, but easily presentable in exam without any mistake, more or less. Applied maths learning is more easy, but not surety you can get exact marks. You cannot sure your all calculations are correct. So anywhere you can do mistake. Like LPP, right? इतनी मीठी content है, कहाँ है? इतनी मीठी content है. Everybody feels, the guy who studied class 10th, he will also understand this, right? I can bet. But where do you do mistake in the calculation? Nobody knows. You can't find. आपको अंदाज़ा भी नहीं मिलेगा. So ये fact है. Okay. कब start करेंगे में? चल रहा है. आप आ जाओ ना. ऐसे क्यों बात करते हैं? Right? ऐसे ऊपर बात कम करो. Serious रहो. Serious वाला बात चलाओ. Right? मेरे को ये समझ में आया. So whenever my introduction class is to be happen in the beginning of the chapter, I should live this YouTube, so that a lot of people will aware, because there is a lacking of awareness also. And we'll see. I'll try and my best of efforts to help the people. And you know, you should go with, you know, once time is out, time never comes back. Right? You know, once your age is over, UPSC never accepts you even you want. Right? So we should not do that kind of mistake. Within the time, only we have to be aware, we have to be serious. Then some things you can get a help. Otherwise you cannot. Okay? Yeah. And you know, I just want to say something, man. I'll again come back to this place. How I think, do you think in the same format? I'm not sure, but you can try, if possible. I'll able to cover, which you already done it in the class. I'll able to cover, will I able to, yeah, you can able to cover, man. What's the problem? I can bet. You can able to cover. Yeah, okay, you're choosing the maths option. What do you mean? You're choosing the maths option. What do you mean? For marks. How many marks at least you needed here? At least. I'm not asking at most. Alright, what is average marks you have to get? At least 300 plus. Otherwise, I don't suggest. You have enough resource. You have enough guidance. Even after that, if you are not getting 300 plus marks, somewhere 100% mistakes lies with you. Alright. So it's not a mistake with anyone. So what the people, lot of people, what they plan so much, but won't do anything. That's the thing. And okay, I believe essay. How many marks? किसी को माइक दो एक बार. Imanshu. Ethics. माइक दीजिए किसी को. If anyone who is very good, he assumes he is very good. How many marks they can guess in essay? Or if you see the trend of the previous people who cracked the exam, what is the trend of the marks in essay in generally? What is the highest mark? Huh?
120 around.
121. That's very average.
120 plus.
But in the essay also, people can get the word out of the 270, 150 plus also possible. Have you not seen anybody, 250, out of the 250? No, essay is 250. Out of the 250, have you seen, I used in IMS brochure, I used to write 150, 160 also somebody got, if you have been aware. Right, it's correct. But see, my suggestion to you or anyone is that essay is a limited content. And a essay demands from you a grammar checking also. Essay does not demand you this bullet form of answer. The bullet points of answer is demandable in only GS, not in essay. In essay, there is a demand of the word paragraph and quotations, nice quotation, underlining and all. In which year you are writing the mains, in that year, at least you can collect the 20 issues by approaching your guidance place or your guidance teacher. My understanding, I'm just saying. Out of the 20 issues, are studying strictly with the grammar, with every vocabulary. If you have not studied properly, okay, last time there was a question in the essay with the mathematics, right? Mathematics logic. How many mathematics optional people wrote that essay? I'm not sure. Maybe you can write one para of that mathematics. After one para, your vocabulary is going to be repetitive. That doesn't look. But when you prepared properly, you can write a bookish language of the vocabulary, which fetch you the marks. That's what my understanding. Right. And out of the 20 issues you have been studied so well by taking some guidance, by going to some proper guide and all, right? How many questions used to come in essay? 8, I believe. Not aware? 8 questions come. Mic है ना आपके पास? 8 questions come. Out of the 8 questions, how many to be answered? 2. Can't you get 2 issues out of the 20? You can easily get. Your thorough reading is important. A lot of B.Tech people, they just enough to get only, sometimes I found, I used to found in students that they enough to have a document with them. sir, you can just guide me what to study. They used to ask me, so you have to study this. A lot of people are there, they can study and they say very well also, they write very well also that content. I've seen with a lot of B.Tech people. So mean that if a 20 issues someone is guided you, on a worst case, even more than 20 also, just I'm saying an example point. Then you read thoroughly, out of that you just end up to get only 2 questions. They can be easily, guess. So that means that based on that, non-repetitive of the vocabulary and good quotations, good writing format, right? And start and ending. A lot of people face a problem in the start and a lot of people face a problem in conclusion, right? So if that content is already studied, then content is in your control. So that how to start and how to end up. If not studied, okay, you got some idea of somewhere I've studied. You have to recall it and you have to write. A lot of repetition is there. A lot of cuttings are there. A lot of points which are irrelevant you can express. Okay. So that should not be. That means that that's very limited and we can really possible to gain like this. And again, in ethics. Ethics also very limited. What is highest marks in ethics out of the 250 till now? Have you an idea?
145 I have heard.
हाँ?
145 I
है
have
no
heard.
इसके अंदर भी 150 के ऊपर ही है लोगों का. I've seen with the people. Okay. Online guys, can anybody say? Have you aware of that? Say something. Good. Chalo. I still say, if possible, go to the guidance place and try it. It's also very limited content. There is a lot of essay content is overlap with ethics. There is a polity and governance overlap with the ethics. Within general studies itself, there is overlapping. Yeah, Vishal Patel is saying 160. Somebody who got. So you always think better for these. These are very limited. Right? You need a thorough reading. You don't require. Just like take an example of the Kanish Kataria. Yes, he says, I believe what I heard from him. No, I'm not, I don't know so much in this. But still he got, because the word is thinking, limited and crisp. And expressing what? Information exactly. That is more important. Some people, what they do, they used to study so much. आखिर में उसका कुछ होता ही नहीं है उनसे. That's the point. Somebody what they say, sir, if I am not cleared in 3 attempts, and if I've been cleared exam, this in 4 attempts, then I have a better knowledge than the person who cleared in first attempt. It's very stupid statement. Who cleared in first attempt, in the rest of the 4 years, he gets a training within the system. And 4 years experience is counted in his life. Right? He got a safety and security also. But still he is an unemployed and moving here and there, and he is trying to cover up his personality by saying this kind of statement. A lot of people are like that. Okay? Should not do that kind of mistake. So always focus on crisp. That's more important. And don't read so many things. Read limited things and should be in exact. Always, always you should attach with what? Previous year questions, not detach with the previous year questions. Every exam pattern will run in the same mode of the previous years. Only you have to crack the pattern. That's more important. Okay. So how many marks? Out of the 500 here, 300 or 250, 150, out of 250, 150. How many here? 600 plus out of the what? 1000. 1000. But see, in mathematics you can get, still you have a lot of scope to gain more than 300. Sometimes sometimes some 10 marks less here or 5 marks less here. That can cover by this. So more or less you can reach to what? This. But if you have chosen the humanities optional, what is average marks? आपका ड्रीम के अंदर भी नहीं आता है 300 प्लस. मुश्किल से एक हाथ का हो सकता है. ऐसे बड़ा बड़ा करके लोग वैसे बोलते 300 है. ह्यूमैनिटी इज ऑल अबाउट द ओपिनियन बेस्ड. गलती से आपका ओपिनियन एग्जामिनर्स माइंड से सिंक हो गया, अब भगवान का बेटा बन सकता है. Right. किस्मत खुल जाते हैं. Seriously, isn't it? अब माइक से बोलो. Yes. But why should we go with word? Unpredictable situation, even after writing your exam also, you can't know exactly whether you clear or not. But after writing your mathematics exam, how many you have done the correct? How many you have done the mistake? That's what is going to be happen. What is average marks in the humanities, you can say? The people who got rank, their marks appeared. The people who didn't clear, their marks cannot be appear. I can't say more than 200 average. Isn't it? Around there is 100 plus marks difference with the mathematics and humanities. In science optionals, I can't say mathematics is science. Mathematics is also considered as humanities, right? And in the medical science, there is medical science optional and math. These two give the exact marks. But I am not sure anybody is opting the medical science because that is also very lengthy to study, right? And but I've seen with some medical science, when I started this coaching, that time somebody who got very good marks in the medical science, as it is like same as a mathematics. But maths, if you are choosing the maths optional, it means for only marks, not for anything to learn here, right? Maths is like a fact. Fact is always fact, never become a lie. It is truth. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, right? Yeah, marks are also fixed like that. But you should also be fixed in learning. And somebody who is a humanities, I'm not criticizing, but it's a fact what I'm trying to say. Somebody can say, my material is only this much. Not this also, even this much. But maths material is this much. ये कब होता है आपका? ऐसे करके लोग सोचते हैं. कब होता है कोई मतलब नहीं. If you know the maths, you know the maths. You know what is a hurdle with you in learning the maths, and what is easy with you learning the maths. You know that better. How much size? With the size you cannot decide. With this size, how much you learn? Nothing you can learn. But that can't appear in exam. What you learn here? Even I write something, opinion. Even I write something, I'll also get some marks. But some marks cannot crack your exam. For every answer in the humanities, people get about some marks. But those some marks cannot give you a rank. If you want to get the rank, you have to get, extraordinary marks. With the average marks of the mathematics, is extraordinary compared to all other optionals. It's a fact. Next, if I come to the word, आपके पास माइक है क्या? हाँ, ठीक, आवाज से बात करना. GS1, GS2. I'll go for under worst case for these. GS3. So what are the marks you guess? Everyone can say 100, 110, 80, something. But I go for the what? 60 marks. 60 plus out of the 250. Isn't it? 60 plus out of the 250. 60 plus. I'm not going for very high marks over here. So person feels that, no, I cannot get the 50 marks. No, you can. Because I've seen when there were two optional papers, that time one student has chosen the mathematics and Pali. क्या बोला? Mathematics and Pali. Pali is a language from Bihar. And he got good marks in maths and Pali. In one of his general studies, he got, I think, out of 300 marks, 40 or something, as very less marks he got. Seriously. But still got selected because of the two optional marks. That was the case. Okay. So, okay, that's a different story, yeah. And how many marks here? 180. Out of the 750. What is total marks here, you can say? Out of the 17, 50, isn't it? Yeah. 0, 8, 780. Has anybody got with the 780 the interview call letter? माइक से बोलो, माइक से बोलो.
Yes.
Yes. I think sometimes I've seen once 16 for 16 marks also entry quality got, not now, nowadays, 3-4 years back, I believe. And 17 also, 680 also, something 690 also. I think it's the safest to get the entry quality, right? But I'm sure person doesn't like to see these 60 marks. Still person can get the more marks. Maybe 20 extra here, 10 extra here, maybe 30 extra here. More or less, on an average, 80 marks you may get. But we go for worst case, right? But here there is a damn sure possibility of gaining. But if student doesn't think seriously, a student doesn't identify overlapping of the content, right? So I'm not sure they can gain. And what is interview marks? Can you tell me through Mike?
180, 190.
What is the minimum marks?
Minimum 160.
135
130.
out of 275, isn't it? 275 or something else? 270, not 250. अरे ये तो क्या बात है, आप लोग अवेयरनेस नहीं तो फिर दिक्कत है, right? Yeah, what is happening here? 5 and 11 and 9, 15. 9, 15. Really. So, has anybody got with the 900 plus marks, 900 plus marks, any rank? IMS ब्रोशर में देखो पता चलेगा. हिमांशु ऑनलाइन में ब्रोशर है क्या? Yeah, it is truth. But otherwise, I just went for only minimum, just if you had attend the interview, not saying any answer, not giving any answer, I just went for the worst case. But otherwise, it's not the case. Because sometimes interview is also not depends on you. It depends upon the opposite person. That is not in our control. Control is only the mains. Right? That's a fact. So that means that what I'm trying to say, you strategize in simplest format and read thoroughly and do hard work thoroughly, that's more important. So a lot of people won't do this. People will move with the crowd, right? Beat se jata hai. Don't become a part of the crowd. Try to be separate. But how do you get separate? Only weapon is reading, studying so much and cracking the exam. One day you stand in front of all the crowd. You are only the person identified out of all the crowd. That is what recognition of your personality. That is what recognition of your personality. So I believe like this. You have to think like this. If your option is a maths, then this works. If your option is not a maths, your option is a what? Something like humanities. What is your average marks? 250, or else I would say less than 250. 220 something. Do you think that getting an essay, you go and see Ranjan back people who got success? I'm saying, even you 320, 340 is also possible in maths. Even you get 10, 10, 20, 20 less here. That can covered by what? Maths. Because of the maths बड़े भाई है. मैं हूँ, इसको दोनों को लेके साथ में जाता है. अब यहाँ पे थोड़ा कम भी हो, एवरेज ना लेकर आके रखेगा. Isn't it, Ranjan? This you can think in the math, with the maths optional, not you can think with the other options. That's what my suggestion. But if you are in doubt, then nobody will help you. You cannot stand with any situation. You should not be in doubt. You should have courage to think like that. Okay, even I get less, here I can cover here. That much of confidence is needed. You see, go and see of the previous people and who cleared the exam, what are their mark strategy in these three. Right. Sometimes only with the mathematics strength, they clear the rank. Even they get less marks in many of the places. Right. And I didn't take their names, there are two people. Every time he gets some marks in mathematics, 340, 330, his marks are only highest. But he gets less marks in general studies. He will get bit less marks in interview also, because वो मुंह पे बात करते हैं, फेस पे बात करते हैं. इतना मतलब सीधा आदमी है, लोग गलत बात ही नहीं करते. So you will get less marks in general studies as well, right? Okay. Then he got IPS. He tried later on, but he gets the marks in maths is good, but he never crossed the IPS. He wanted to clear IAS, but not. The same has happened in old pattern of exam. He always get out of 600, 400 plus marks every time. Is a very huge marks, right? 400 plus marks every time. अरे वो marks वाले है ना, एक बार download करके देखो. Yeah. That's what I've seen. But this person also tried every time to clear the IAS. But he tried at least 3 to 4 times. 3 to 4 times. But he didn't clear IAS. So that means that somebody who can have a strength in their own optional subject, that's what always saves, right? And in humanities, we can always see what accidental things, but here you can't see any accidental situation. And you can come to know, okay, what I've been prepared, what I've not done. That's what they can. It's okay. There are a lot of people, somebody who asked how many people got cleared 300 plus. There are a lot of people. That's what I'm saying, which I tried and counted. Okay. Yeah. Kisi ne likha? So, but sir, after attempting fully question, and we are not getting a 10 out of 10. No. See, always remember, you can get 10 out of the 10, right? अरे इधर आओ, इमान से इसका फोटो भेज सकते हैं क्या? भेजो, जनरल टेलीग्राम ग्रुप में भेजो. But see, it depends. I'm sure out of the 10, you may get the 10, but there is a normalization. There is a scaling. That is what can't explainable. If I say that's my assumption, what is scaling is going to take place. He has attempted out of the 500 marks, only 370 plus marks are correct. Right. Correct. So he got out of this 319 marks he got. See how much accuracy is there in the mathematics. That's more important. But most of the students, what they assume, they won't write test series. They understand that whatever they wrote, that is very correct. But when you can give your answer to someone who can correct that, who can check that, from that how many marks you are getting out of the 10 marks, 10 are you getting, or 8 you are getting, that's more important. We should not decide by ourselves that is what I wrote, that's very correct. That should be decided by someone else, who is an examiner in the UPSC, who is somewhere in the in-house test, somewhere in the market like an IMS, you are writing the test series, and that's what where your test copy is tested, checked. That from where you can easily understand how much you are attempting properly, how much you are writing properly, right? That's needed. That's what missing in nowadays. What the people they are imagining themselves, they are correcting their paper also nowadays. They are deciding, okay, I'm writing everything is correct, but UPSC is not giving marks. It's not that case. When the person gets more marks, they feel that, okay, I'm the, superhero, right? So nobody is a superhero here. So he might be written, that's the reason he got. Some people didn't write properly, that's the reason they didn't get. That is also needed to, assume, right? How many months takes to cover the maths? It depends on you. Basically in our IMS, one more, how much time it takes to normal aspirant and maths, okay. I can't say normal or extraordinary aspirant. It depends upon your religious kind of hard work. That's more important. Second, nothing is invisible. If you take me an example, I've opened every content, right? I don't teach anything is invisible. Generally, what I have a gut feeling, confidence, I give a material to the students in advance. The students who already graduated from the same subject, I give that material to the student in advance, 10 days, week, a month back month before I used to give, right? So my expectations are that student has to come with what? Advanced reading. But that won't be done by anyone. People, aspire to read, but they won't do that. That's the biggest mistake, right? But see, I don't have any secret. I just teach everything is generally what teachers think in generally, if I give my content to the student hand, my secret is opened. So what can I teach? So maybe, if I give a material in advance, maybe my work may be bit suppressed. That's not a problem. But student is getting a rank. That's more important. How my work is suppressed? Okay, I know, because when I gave a content to the student in advance, so they might be studied in their graduation that particular content. They feel that, okay, I know this content. When they do on their own, or when they do some problems of the previous years based on that content, it's a good for the student. It's a lot of gaining for the student. But if I am not given that content, the student is coming invisibly to the class and seeing on the board and writing everything, what teacher is writing here and there. He has to write, he has to listen in single time. It's not possible to do both the works of listening and writing. You may listen or else you may write properly. Grasping is less. But when I give a material stuff to you in advance, in the material itself some points are important. Just beside that step only you can write that particular point. You can note that. And you save your time. And your understanding time is more. You are giving more time for the understanding. So that is what way a student will be saved. But if I don't give, there is a lot of confusion, a lot of problem. If I think for my secret only, then it's a problem for the student. Otherwise, I can't able to create these kind of results, these many results, if I don't give a material in advance. Right. Good point is with the mathematics is that nothing is invisible, everything is fair and clear. That's one thing. Next point is that who knows maths? They only know maths. Who do not know maths, if you go outside and say, which option is yours? Mine is maths. Oh my God, you've chosen the mathematics. It's not that. Oh my God is for them. Oh my God is not for us. Right, when you know the mathematics. When I started the coaching, someone who is a humanities teacher, he said that, Venkanna, if you have a money, you save your money in the bank. I don't have the money, that is the reason I'm planning to start the maths. Right. So I started, who knows the maths, they only. But later on he started recommending the student to take the mathematics option because he has seen the ranks. Right. So that's the case. See, what option you are choosing is no matter. What background you have, from the background if you can choose the optional, make sensible. There are a lot of things you can cover by yourself also. Right. So guidance is, the guidance is going to be help you to fill up your gaps. That's more important. Okay. अंकेश रंजन क्या बोल रंजन आपका सवाल का जवाब मिला नहीं मिला tell me yes no yeah but here in the IMS what I've seen with the people, I've seen with the students different levels of knowledge people used to come in the same subject, okay. Somebody who is from IIT background, somebody who is a good college from the state, somebody who is from the NIT, somebody who did not clear the IIT, but they are good in maths. They are studying in the state college. They are good in maths. That kind of students also have seen, right? Basically. It all depends upon the particular student. What is I'm trying to say here? Somebody who is good in modern algebra, the same person not good in a ODE. The somebody who is good in a ODE but not good in what? Modern algebra. Right? it's very obvious that I have to go with word. Average, pace of the class. I shouldn't go with word, particularly with a particular number of students. Speed. If who do not know this particular subject, they have to learn properly. And who knows it, they have to practice advancedly. That's more important. When it comes to the OD, and who knows very well, they have to do advancedly. And who do not know this, they have to learn from the class. That's more important. This way I have decided. Somebody used to suggest me, sir, you can separate the word cream and non-cream students. Right. So somebody good in one particular subject, not good in other, how can I decide he is a cream? So it's not possible. That is where I decided to take 1, 2, 3, 4 classes in a day. Right. And I go with what my average speed. Since I acquired lot many years of experience in the mathematics teaching. Once upon a time, the content, what I do, 1 hour time of any content, now that content will be done in now less than 10 minutes time, with accurate understanding, better understanding, better output. But why should I spend 1 hour time again in this moment after acquiring so much of experience? So my target is that you explain it 10 minutes thoroughly, possibly, quickly, and give immediately problems as many as. That is where student will gain the benefit. That's what my understanding. What the regular mindset student, teacher has to come and teach continuously. It's not a humanities. Humanities is a one-side work. वो बोलते रहे teacher बस स्टूडेंट ऐसे सुनता रहता है, कोई लोग सोता रहता है. So you have to see mathematics as a activity oriented content, not to see this would be a lecture oriented content, right? So that way you can gain the benefit, basically what I'm trying to say, right? But see, what is my suggestion here? If student wants to finish their course at the earliest, so as many as the number of slots he can opt, how much capacity he is having. Suppose you are starting, if you are starting in the month of the June, July, mathematics optional or whatever the optional, I suggest you can try to finish your optional subject more and more before beginning the general studies. If you have been already started, it's okay. Not started, better not to start, my suggestion. Because optional is having end, but general studies doesn't have any end. That's endless, process. So at least 60 to 70% of reading or completion of the optional is more important before your general studies to start. It is truth, a lot of people won't aware of. If simultaneously, if you are going to start the optional and general studies, you will not get enough time. You will not get enough time to manage both the things. If you have been already started, then it's okay. Not started, then wait for beginning the general studies. Okay. Don't be emotional. Yeah, Ankesh is correct. So it means that somebody can say, sir, I don't have the time to attend these many classes or else 2 classes in a day. Maybe correct. Somebody can say that, sir, you can take a 3 hours class in a single class, 3 hours class in single slot you can take. But sometimes what happens in the mathematics, after teaching half an hour content or after teaching 1 hour content, it needs a practice. It demands a practice immediately. It is not a story-based content. What do some teachers say that? So after my class you ask me doubt. I will be against to that. Even in humanities also, even in science also. When the student will get doubt, immediately if he asks the doubt in that point of time, he can clear and he can understand the next level content. But maybe it's a bit interruption and bit maybe disturbance, distraction for the class. but more understandings develop. More understanding is going to be developed in that case. But if I allow you after the class to ask me doubt, then after the class, no human mentality stays back. After the class, it's an irrelevant. If I ask, especially in the, like in mathematics, if you ask, right, one doubt after the class, but it needs sometimes the lot of solution to compute. In that moment, if you ask that computation, he understands immediately. Okay, I'm doing like this. But after crossing the moment, if you ask, then explaining the doubt also is a challenge to the teacher and to understand the student also, and he will ignore. Right. So that's what where time is going to be take. Lot of people won't aware of this. They want to finish it. What do you do by finishing? With a 1x speed, not 1x is good speed, right? With a 2x speed or 1.5x speed, what do you do with that? Nothing. You can fast forward the video, but you cannot fast forward the teacher in the class. Right. So that's what my point. Okay. See, if you are attending the 2 classes in a day, I'm sure it's a good one. If you attend only 1 class in a day, it's a, your headache for the teacher also. The reason why content of heaviness is less. When you don't get enough homework, you always wait for the teacher. When his teacher is coming? And what is the time of the teacher? What teacher is thinking? His expertise is thinking. But you are not thinking expertise of the teacher. You are thinking only what? Hours to fill by the teacher. Hours to fill by the teacher is also important. Expertise is also important. But expertise is going to be more help. If I come and teach the 3 hours without any stop, without any stop, if I start and teach, you cannot gain anything. Then, so my suggestion is that attend as many as a number of classes. Somebody who is saying, sir, in weekend class, when I was attending a better calculus in weekend, obviously in a week gap, then people, they plan to do in a week gap the content which was happened in the, Saturday and Sunday. But as we are a human being, we won't do systematically. It's a fact. But how can you expect that if someone who is in support of, knowledge, even after the human is not doing, but when human is doing himself or herself, the video lecture classes, right? Who is not supporting, like any physical person, no physical person is available to support that student. How can that particular student will maintain the rhythm of the preparation? So see, okay, still nowadays the corona made people are short, like shorts in YouTube. Then I, started thinking, shall I open one fast track class of the evening? I opened the fast track class. Truth. See, I acquired around 24 years of experience in the mathematics. Continuously, I have not done any other job, only maths I am teaching. It's very obvious that who is teaching from the long years, he can remember the content easily. And some students, what they think that teacher has been, mugged up the content. What is it? It's meaningless. What is the meaning of the mugged up? To crack your exam also, you need a thorough level of the practice. Thorough level of the practice. Then only you are able to answer in exam without thinking. Like in mathematics, for example, I take a mathematics. In exam, you can't experiment any answer to answer. In exam, once you see the question, either that question practiced at home, or else the same model has been practiced at home, or in the class, in the test series, then only you are able to answer that question without any thinking. Okay, I have seen that kind of model somewhere in the back of, 5 years back in my graduation. I'm not able to recollect. Then you are able to recollect formula and do something, and your question is given with a space constraint. Okay, some cuttings you made, you have a less space. Within this less space, you can't able to answer your complete answer. That's what is the biggest drawback. Yeah. Are you feeling bored? Online guys? बोर आ रहा है क्या आपको? बोर हो रहा है क्या? जल्दी बोलो, yes, no. बोर नहीं होना, अगर IAS बनना है तो सपना ठीक से रहना एंड सपना को मेंटेन भी करना है, तभी तो आप तैयारी कर सकते हैं, अदरवाइज तैयारी नहीं कर सकते. ओके. Yeah. You know, the space is over. Somebody would ask me, sir, the question which I don't know, shall I use that space to answer my question which I know? No. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that. That is not a correct way to write, exactly. So this way people. But what happened later on, because of the impatience of a lot of people, then I started evening, 6 o'clock class, fast track. I started OD, and OD in 7 days I finished, and PD I finished in the 7 days, and 3D geometry in 11 days, 11 classes, right? Then people made me emotional. Sir, you start modern algebra? I started modern algebra. Then the speed which I maintained, speed means that you see, fast track means that I don't give so much of homework. How it's going to be a fast track? If I give a problem in the class and do half an hour time, then how it's going to become a fast track? So in that what I do, fastly I can explain concept, and fastly I do, in a very fast I can do one problem, one model problem. I'll give you 5 minutes or 2 minutes time to do one of the question in the class. If somebody is not done in 5 minutes, I don't wait for them, and I go ahead by next content, right? So that way the things used to be done. That is the reason, these 7 days and 11 days. When it comes to the model, the same speed I'm maintaining. सब लोग ऐसे देख रहे हैं, अरे बच्चे को मतलब उसको तो पता ही नहीं है करियर क्या होता है. At least being a teacher, I'm an age-old person. I should not do any mistake with any student. Suddenly, fast track became slow track in the modern algebra. ये तो दया वाला बात हो गया, right? Then again, when it goes to the fluid dynamics, I started the fluid dynamics. I know here in fluid dynamics nothing to understand. A lot of computations, lot of calculations in doing problems. Then very complex calculations. When person is doing a very complex calculation, obviously it takes time. Just saying the background and going ahead doesn't make any sensible. So I finally understood in the fast track the chapters like OD is possible, PD is possible, and numerical is possible, vector analysis is possible, complex is possible, even I would say LPP is possible, even I would say linear algebra is also possible, but still it is a question mark because there are concepts to understand. Wherever the concepts involved, there the problem arises. Okay, there is a content named 3D is possible, so I think even dynamics is possible, right? Even statics is also possible, right? So these, but but not the other chapters are possible. But how these to be done in the fast track, right? In a faster manner, concepts to be explained. In a faster manner, one model explained. In a faster manner, time with a time limiter, 1 or 2 questions will be given, and to be continued like this. This way, things to be done now in our way. But this kind of discussion is really good for these students who already studied. For the revision, it is good actually. For good learning, good practice, it doesn't make sense. Okay, I finished. If you've been finished, then what's the benefit of this? You already finished in a graduation. You already finished in a post-graduation if you have done through, right? But it's not going to help you if you do like this, especially in the competition exam. In a competition exam, एक चीज़ पकड़ के practice करना पड़ता है. Even you know also, you have to practice. एक बार अपना पेन से चलाना है चीज़ को, आसान होने के बाद भी. बट कई बच्चे ऐसा नहीं, हाँ मेरे को जानते आगे बढ़ता है, उससे कोई फ़ायदा ही नहीं होता, जीरो फ़ायदा है, right? So this is the thing basically. The other chapters like modal algebra, even linear algebra, real analysis is not possible. Even fluid dynamics is not possible if someone who is doing it is a stupidity. Just only Fast track is nothing but skipping. Right. If somebody is finished, something is finished by any student or anybody, suppose modern algebra, I'll take at least 25 class, minimum 25, 30 class I have. Minimum, I just told the story minimum. Otherwise, there is no understanding basically. If somebody who finished in just only 10 classes, studied in 10 classes, 100% he did a mistake, he did not learn anything. It's a fake learning issue. But who is having a background of the B.Sc or M.Sc or even B.Tech also, if you want to come to the, there's a next to this class, there's a modern algebra class. There is another class is the linear algebra, right? If you want to come and see, you can see, not an issue. You ask link, or else you ask the office people to come to the class, not an issue. Hopefully, the session today has happened is very general, and it may help the people, I'm sure. And you try to be very strict for your career. Don't lose your career. A lot of people and just losing their time. Corona made everybody is in the wrong direction, right? And light not having any hard work, and everything is available on the video form or a screen form. So that's not going to be help the people, but somewhere hardcore learning is going to be the help. If you are not into the hardcore learning, then utterly you'll face the problem. Okay, somebody wrote, how to prepare mathematics optional after 12? Sir, what to prerequisite, requisite after 12? No, after 12, you can try and enjoy sometimes some graduation period also. Along with that, you can opt this online class since you want to engage with the subject. If you can aware of, then it's good. At the same time, you can try to get some activities in the college also, the graduation college. It will really help you in the life, in the future life. And at the same time, if you want to engage with the subject, instead of coming to the offline classes and attend online, if you are from Delhi, sometimes you can come for the offline classes also. That will help you. Raj Verma. And yeah, this Hyderabad, Mukherjee people should come regularly, and it's good. Shall we stop the class? If you say yes, we stop. Currently in final year of graduation, any tips? Nothing. You can again, I'm saying, opt the online if you are in the final year. At least you can get aware of the things in a proper manner. That will help you. Okay. Otherwise, after the graduation, if you can come, that's not an issue. Point is that again you can waste one more year, right? At least along with your graduation, if you can attend this class, at least you will be get to know okay what is there in the preparation. Then next year you can't waste your time. That's what I'm saying. Otherwise, most of the people in their beginning year, they waste their time, they lose their year, right? So that you can lose now. Sometimes somebody cannot lose any year. They are so much strict in their timetable and all, and that's the reason somebody used to crack in first attempt also. But sometimes who is cracking exam in first attempt, they used to prepare 3-4 years or 4-5 years first, then they give their first attempt and they claim that I cleared in first attempt. But what is invisible matter here? They prepared 4 years, that is invisible. That's wrong guidance. That is a wrong message in the society. They have to open. I was preparing from the last 4 years, but I gave this year first attempt, I cleared. Then make sensible. Otherwise, people, the new aspirants used to get confused, right, misguide. And these all, instead of all, I would say, most of the rank holders are misguided missiles nowadays. They are misguiding a lot of new aspirants, really. तो पाप लग जाता है, अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है. And they say directly, I prepared on my own, I cleared in first attempt. Then what the new aspirant does? अरे यार, how they cleared in the first attempt? And most of the cases, except some, there are some exceptional cases, they prepare in 1 year and they clear. But they are very exceptional and they won't misguide anybody also. And that's the case. And like Kanishka, he prepared, as I think he has attempted earlier also, but not seriously. But when he came for the preparation seriously, he cleared the exam in a single attempt. That's the case. One more question. Can only do IMS notes? Yes. Initially, you do only IMS. That is also not easily done. That is also going to take so much of time. Yeah. Chalo, good. And we'll see. Thank you so much. And free is always free. If you think of anything. And when you invest something, then there is a value. Like, lot of state governments, lot of, even government of India also, when they want to win the election, without freebies, they won't able to win the election. But that is ruining the countries and states, right? The free is always dangerous. And that's what, you should not choose your career with the free things, and that will not make you serious. Try to imagine seriously. Okay, thank you. We'll see.